Well, you did it, Warner Brothers. You fucked us over again. You just couldn't leave well enough alone. Welcome back to yet another depressing ass review for this fucking year, which I cannot stand. It is this time we are diving back into J.K. Rowling's magical universe of Harry Potter, only this time it is taking place about a couple decades beforehand, following the adventures of a new guy, and this is my review for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Time is running out. Mr. Scamander.
Because I do not want to spoil anything for you guys, because I want you guys to go in with a fresh taste and not let my sour, dour, overall negative viewpoints affect you. So, this movie starts off with Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne, who is traveling to New York with a case full of magical creatures because he wants to retrieve some sort of item from a friend. So, once in New York, Newt has a chance encounter with a muggle named Jacob Kowalski. Only here in America, they call them no-mages because we Americans ruin absolutely everything. And unfortunately, Jacob gets away before he can obliviate him, so Newt is arrested by a ex-Auror, I should say, named Tina Goldstein, played by Catherine Watterson. Unfortunately, because they accidentally switch briefcases and Jacob has the briefcase, he accidentally opens it and lets out several of Newt's creatures, and now Newt, Tina, Jacob, and Tina's sister Queenie have to go around and retrieve all of these creatures before something bad happens. So the good first, because while I was ranting and raving before, there were a few good things to enjoy about this movie. First off, Eddie Redmayne's performance as Newt Scamander was, I have to say, surprisingly top-notch. When I was going into this movie, the thing that I was most skeptical about was Eddie Redmayne, because he does have a tendency to play these kind of quirky characters, but this time, the quirks really fit with his character, because the thing about Newt Scamander, from everything that I'd read before seeing this movie, is that Newt Scamander was a very awkward, out-of-touch character. He was always he would prefer to spend his time at Hogwarts with beasts rather than with actual peoples, and I can see that in Eddie Redmayne's performance, is that even when he was around the CGI beasts, he just felt more alive, felt more in tune with that world rather than the human world, and Eddie Redmayne did a very good job of expressing that, which I very much appreciated. Also, the storyline about Newt and his friends going and retrieving these beasts, I actually really enjoyed that storyline. I got some solid laughs out of it. It was a little bit slapstick at times, but overall, I got a lot of joy from it, and those were the parts that made me feel like I was back in the universe of Harry Potter, that made me feel that magic of that universe that I felt when I was a kid. The performances from Newt's friends, Tina, Queenie, and Jacob. Tina, Catherine Watterson, she could have been a little bit better. She felt very awkward in this role, but not in the way that Newt felt. Her awkwardness, it just felt like awkward for the sake of awkward, like she didn't really know what to do, and there were a lot of blank moments with no dialogue that just felt really forced, and I didn't like that a lot. Queenie Alison Sudol, she goes by the name of A Fine Frenzy in Britain. She gave a good performance overall. I enjoyed her chemistry with Jacob. I actually believed that she would, have a crush on a no-mage. The only thing that really kind of threw me off about her performance was she seemed to be mimicking Marilyn Monroe throughout the entire movie. I'm not sure if that was a creative choice on her part, but yeah, it kind of threw me off. Enjoyed her a lot though, don't get me wrong. Dan Fogler, however, is a guy that I very much appreciated. From his first encounter with Newt up until the end of the movie, he fit very well in with the three wizards and witches. It was also very nice seeing a muggle actually appreciate and understand how fantastic magic is. And although I will say I am really sad that they cut his line that was in the trailer with the part where he's sitting next to Newt clapping and he says, "I want to be a wizard." Just his encounters with every magical creature, his reaction to it, I really enjoyed that because I felt like that's how I would be reacting at that time. Unfortunately, now we do get to the bad, and there were a couple of bad things in this movie. First off, Warner Brothers being the overall sense, because once again, Warner Brothers does with this movie what they have been doing with all of their movies that they've released this year, which is they are too busy setting up for future sequels rather than focusing on the movie they have on their hands right now, and it shows badly. because while Newt and his friends are going around trying to retrieve these beasts, there's this completely separate storyline that doesn't really have anything to do with the primary storyline, and it's revealed at the end that this storyline has been nothing but set up for future sequels. So, like, for example, the other storyline, it follows this weird group of Salem-esque muggles led by Samantha Morton and her son, who's a really weird, awkward Ezra Miller, who are, like, persecuting against witches and wizards, and they're trying to get some publicity. That goes nowhere. But then, on the other hand, you have Colin Farrell, who's playing this really shady aura named Percival Graves, who's collaborating with Ezra Miller's Credence, that's his character's name, and it just has nothing to do with the primary storyline. And the way they try and tie it all together, it doesn't feel like part of the natural story, and it just feels like nothing but setup. You would really think the Warner Brothers would have learned their lesson from all of the shitty, unnecessary sequels that came out this summer. Nope. Oh, and of course, the thing that I cannot forget about is Gellert Grindelwald, the overall Dark Wizard that was confirmed to be having a tiny appearance in this film a couple months ago, that a couple weeks ago he would be portrayed by Johnny Depp. Well, he makes a tiny appearance at the end of this movie. I'm not going to say how he is involved with the film, but he makes an appearance, and let me tell you, I can already tell from 2 lines that Johnny Depp is going to be horrible. 2 lines. 2 lines was all I needed to know, that this is just going to be another Tim Burton ripoff, Pirates ripoff, weird, quirky character from Johnny Depp that has ultimately led to the ruin of his career. And great, now he gets to ruin another one of my favorite franchises. So overall, there was a lot of things that I liked about this movie, but there was a lot more that I didn't like, and it created just this such diversity within me. So that is why this movie literally does make a perfect 5 out of 10, because there was enough that I didn't like, but just there was so much that I didn't like. The setting up for the sequels, Johnny Depp, J.K. Rowling selling out, just ugh. But now I can officially say, Warner Brothers, fuck you, because you have officially ruined everything for movies this entire year. Almost every single movie you've made has been a complete travesty, because all you care about is setting up for sequel after sequel after sequel. Listen to me right now, okay? Take this into consideration for next year. Stop trying to set up for sequels. Focus on the movie you have, try and make that a good movie, and then go from there and plan out sequels if people like your new thing. That's how you work a franchise, that's how you make money. Stop trying to be reactionary and trying to pander to crowds. So that's my review for Fantastic Beasts. What do you guys think? Comment below, subscribe, like the usual. I'll see you guys next time.